Hey guys, hey guys, hey guys. Welcome to another episode of the Adult Puzzle Podcast. My name is Lamide, your humble host, and with me is.
With you is the one and only, okay, Lola J, Lola, whatever your heart desires.
Oh my god, it's been a while you said that. Yep,
I
yep,
know,
yep.
right? And you know why I say it? Because people really switch back and forth in my life. Like some of my friends call me Ladi, and then the next day they're calling me Lola. So it's just like,
Right.
you too, you know you do this too.
I know I do exactly what I said right. So, guys, welcome to another episode of the Adult Puzzle Podcast, and we're happy, we're excited. It's great to be back. It's like my favorite time of the week. Today, we do have a special episode planned out for you, and we have a special guest as well. And
Mhm.
okay, maybe we'll say let him introduce himself. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
so guest
Before he
special.
introduces himself, actually, I want to put him on the spot. So
Please do.
introduce yourself, okay,
Oh
special
boy.
guest, and
Oh boy.
then describe yourself in like 3 words so people can have an idea of who exactly it is they're hearing from.
So should I just like just talk and not say my name?
No, no,
Yeah.
no, say your name, say your name. Introduce yourself now.
How far, man. How you guys doing, man? It's Uche, man. You know, Uche, happy to be on the podcast. Three things that describe me: loyalty, respect, and
Okay.
hustle, man.
Loyalty, respect, and hustle.
I
Okay.
like
But
that.
I like
let me also say, man, guys, man, honestly, thanks for having me. Like, I was literally telling Olamide off the air, like, I am a fanboy. I actually know his voice. This is crazy. Like, I listen to you guys every Monday, like for real. And Ladi knows this,
wow.
like every single
That
Monday.
means a
So
lot.
no, for real, man. I mean, podcasting is one of my favorite things to kill time. So, thanks for having me, essentially.
Of
Thank you
course. I'm
so
excited.
much. Bless up, bless up, bless up. Okay, so let's get into it, right?
Mhm.
Want to give you some icebreakers, right? So just let us know your thoughts. The first thing that comes to your mind, like a quick, 30-second response or
Yikes.
exclamation or whatever
Yikes.
to the following
Yikes.
things, right? So,
Uh-oh.
and with that, I'm sure our audience will be able to figure out what we're talking about today. So let's get
Yeah.
into it.
Wait, really quick also, Lamide is actually the only one that knows some of these prompts. So I'm getting surprised as well. Just
Oh
as an
yeah, that's
FYI.
true. Yeah, she has no idea
Golly.
what a what a peak and whatever. So let's get into it. Let's get into it. Yeah. So the other day I'm online and just minding my business as usual because no wahala kind of guy, right? And I see someone tweeting saying my boyfriend of 3 months came up to me while I was at the West Water Fountain and said, "You do know we're not together anymore, right?" I quickly responded, "Yeah, of course. Like, yeah, I knew that." What are your thoughts on that kind of statement?
Did you see that on Twitter?
Yeah.
Let me just say that Twitter is a very terrible place, man. Like I am so scared of that. I am actually so scared of Twitter. Which which is
Mhm.
Yo.
funny because like I use Twitter as like a journal. So I just put
Mhm.
like some random subliminal one-liners. Like I'll just randomly go there and say ice cold and bounce for another 2 weeks. Come and say water or something and bounce. Like if you're in my life, like if you're close to me, you would know what I'm referring to. But like obviously to the masses, it just seems like random one-liners. But like the reason why I do this is because I'm scared of the platform. I can't spend more than 10 minutes on Twitter. Like literally. I'm so scared of getting cancelled for saying the wrong thing. So I'm speaking in codes. But just to answer your question, man, like Man, our generation, man. I don't know again, man. She said something about we're not together anymore, and the guy said, I know, like
Yeah,
I
and
don't get.
in her mind, so the statement says, "My boyfriend of 3 months came up to me while I was at the water fountain and said, 'You do know we're not together anymore, right?'" So in
Was
her
that like
mind,
a
they're still
breakup?
dating.
Right?
Exactly. And she was
That's
like,
why I'm like, what?
you know what I'm saying? Like in her mind, they're dating, and he's like, we're not together anymore. And she's like, of course, I'm guessing to mask it all. She's like, oh
Right.
yeah, sure, right. I knew that. But definitely paid her shower. I'll give you
Man,
another
that's
one. This one says, my girlfriend broke up with me over text after I had just spent 4 days with her for Valentine's Day, an hour before I had a job interview, which she knew about. What are your thoughts?
So what I want to
man.
say is that I feel like people put a lot of pressure on V-Day because I know there's a thing where you're trying to be booed up before Valentine's Day. I don't get it, but I know it's a thing. So I'm not surprised. I don't
I would
endorse
say
it.
I want to play devil's advocate. I always do this,
Yeah.
but do you wanna spend if you're breaking up with someone
Hmm.
before Valentine's? Although this one says they had just spent Valentine's, and
Together.
all that together, whatever. But if you're breaking someone before Valentine's, isn't it better? Valentine's is supposed to mean something like for those people that it means something to in a relationship.
Hmm.
You go all out for your chick, whatever. If you go through that and you break up immediately after, is that not like weird? You know what I'm saying?
Let me play
Assuming
devil's
the
advocate. You're
oh yeah,
leaving the
go.
relationship on a high,
Hmm.
so you might as well just spend your last days together celebrating something.
Fair enough. Go out with a
That's
bang,
crazy
right?
to me, bro. That's crazy to me. But that means that breakup was premeditated, man. Like you
Yeah.
knew you were
Yeah.
about to break up, and you just
Yeah.
wanted to
Oh,
spend his money or
you
what?
know, you know what? You guys
Yeah.
hold that thought. Exactly the kind of fire and energy I need today. Because today we're going to be talking about breakups. That's the conversation for today. And, I'm excited. Luana is excited. And I'm sure our guest is as well. So let's just get right into it. I needed that energy and I just needed to introduce the topic for the day before we get all hyped and excited.
Oh wait, okay. I actually have. I'm thinking about the two things you just said. The second one, I'm not so surprised because I'm like, I mean, hey, catch a cruise. I wouldn't do it, but I could understand why someone would do it, right? It's like let's just have a little fun before we break up. The first
I'll be
one,
so
I'm
upset,
like,
man.
of course, especially if you're the guy, right? That's spending all the money on all of that, and then the girl breaks up with you. But you know the funny thing though, I think from the guy's perspective, it can also be used. Like if a guy wants to break up with a girl, but like he doesn't want to do it before Val's Day, that because that's fucked up. He could also just give her a good time on Valentine's Day and then break up with her after. That's also a nice
I would
exit
argue,
strategy.
I would argue that a guy would not do that because
Really?
I would argue that a guy would not do that only because, you know, Valentine's Day, yeah, most times it's the guy getting the girls something. Hey,
Yeah.
babe, this is your special day. It's almost like a celebration for women, an appreciation day. So I would
No.
argue.
Celebration of love, not of women.
Okay, wait. Question,
Please
Lade.
let him finish. Oh my gosh. I was
Okay,
enjoying that. I wanted it to land. Yeah, go
Continue.
ahead.
question. When last did you get someone something on Valentine's Day for Valentine's? For Valentine's,
When I was dating someone.
really?
Yes,
Like you
really.
said, you said this was your Valentine's Day present. Like this is
Yeah.
my celebration of. Okay, well, I think overall, Sha, it's a celebration of love. I agree, but like just going back
Mhm.
to what the scenario was, I just feel like it's less likely for a guy to say, I just want to enjoy today and make today special, then break up with you on February 15th. Like that is craziness to me.
I think someone mentioned premeditated, like about breaking up. And I wanted to get you
Hmm.
guys' thoughts on this. how long before the actual breakup do you think someone knows they're gonna break up with a partner?
Mm.
Man, that question is loaded, man. Golly.
Yeah, yeah.
Golly.
You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like yeah. Again, I wasn't thinking about it earlier, but someone mentioned
Hmm.
premeditated in this conversation, and
Yeah,
I'm thinking, oh, that's good. That's true. So,
yeah.
like, how long before the actual breakup date? You know, does the person know that? Yeah, this is done. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm gonna say it
let's.
from what I've seen from my friends and like semi-personal experience. For girls, it varies versus from boys. And this is not trying to like bucket every girl and every boy into one specific bucket. This is just what I've seen. So usually for the girls, they actually have had those thoughts for a while, and I'm talking like months before. And it's just like a lingering thought in their head of like, yeah, this is not really working out, and they subconsciously start to check out before the big breakup. Versus for the guys, something always ignites it. Like something big ignites it. Either she was rude to his mom and he's like, nah,
Mm,
I'm done.
mm,
Or, she cheated or something and he's like, nah, I'm done. So that's what I've usually seen. Where for girls, it's the girls I know and the people in my life and what I've seen, it's usually more premeditated. But I also think it can happen for guys. I think a guy can be checked out, and that's where like,
To be honest, I really like Lotte's answer, but for me, it's not a girl versus guy thing. I think
mhm,
in any situation, yeah, like unless it wasn't like an instant breakup. Let's say someone found out that their partner was cheating, and they
mhm,
broke up immediately. I think it's always premeditated. And what I mean by that is, there has to be a series of events that led up to that moment. Let's
mhm,
say, like in Lotte's instance, she was rude to your mom, you know. And in that moment, you thought about it. You're like, how can this person be rude to, my mom or whatever? But you didn't take action. So it's behind your head, it's lingering. Then, another event happens, and maybe that's what tips you over, and you're like, okay, you know what, I can't do this anymore, whatever the case is. So for me, I feel like unless it's something like someone cheated or whatever the case is, most breakups are somewhat premeditated. Like, I feel like situations will just happen and you keep fighting yourself, like, man, is this girl worth it? Like, is my peace worth it? Blah, 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 blah. And it's just a mental battle before the actual, oh, yo, I'm done. So I feel
yeah,
like in most cases, breakups, unless it has an like, unless someone was cheating or something, I feel like in most cases, breakups are somewhat premeditated.
yeah. I actually agree with you. I like what you just said. I actually agree. I think what I've also seen too is where somebody is saying, we're gonna break up soon. Like, I know this is gonna end. And it's like, okay, you know it's gonna end. Why isn't it ending now? You're just kind of like
Mhm.
waiting till that thing that ignites it and you can like happily walk away and say, yeah,
Yeah.
hmm, hmm.
But Lamdi, what do you think?
Um, I think I don't know. I to be honest, I would approach it from a male female perspective, right?
Hmm.
Contrary to what Richie said. And not because he is wrong, I'm not negating his answer because I totally
Yeah,
agree with
yeah.
the scenarios you both have painted. But I would take it from the male female perspective as well, because uh, a guy would, again, men would disgrace you. So I usually don't like generalizing, but let's just, for the sake of conversation,
Hmm.
a guy would require like something, if it's a girl he truly likes, like something moving for him to be like, yeah, it's off. Do
Yeah,
you get what I'm saying? Like, it has to be something impactful in the sense is like you said, you disrespect my mom, if that's like a big deal to the person, or you know, you were abusive to me, maybe verbally or like whatever it is. Like a guy, it takes like one big thing or one small thing to be like, I'm done. But for a female, I think they are, and just because I feel like they're the smarter species, like they're this,
Oh,
yeah,
I second that. I second that opinion.
they,
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
No, I do.
yo,
No,
it's
I do.
facts, it's facts, bro. Like who are we kidding? They are very calculative, and
Yeah.
not because they are trying to be. It's like inbuilt. Like, do you know how much they juggle in a day, especially the
Hmm.
moms, whatever. But back to my point, a female will be like you said, your couple have been running, running, running. She
Hmm.
already knows this shit is going nowhere. But
Hmm.
she's done some calculation at the back of her head that, oh, I mean, I need him for this, and this before the month of May. So it's not smart and it's not economical to end this now. But I'll have started giving him vibes from like maybe ending of March.
Yeah.
Then I'll make up again. And by April, I'll give him another big fight. Then by May, I would end it. Like they work like that. You know what I'm saying? Like they
Yeah.
know
Nah,
when
man.
and where.
I
And
don't.
in my opinion, it might not be as
I was gonna say you're giving us too much props.
yeah, it might
Bruh,
not be
nah.
as dramatic, but
If a
I just
babe did
think it.
calculus like that for me, man, I would be offended. Oh,
As in,
You see,
I'll be very, very offended.
it might not be like black and white in terms of like
yeah,
they're writing down a plan or a
I
blueprint.
know
But
what
my
you
point
mean.
is,
Mhm.
they've mentally checked out of the
Yep,
fact that this can progress to something more.
yep.
So maybe under the guise of they are waiting for the perfect time to tell you, you understand what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Or they are waiting for the perfect moment. But still, just know that like 3 months ago, they knew that they were done. Do you
Yeah,
understand what I'm saying? So yeah, whenever you find out, it's your own breaking news. Do you understand? But that's just
yeah,
how it
That's tough,
is.
man. That's tough, man.
So
Chai.
yeah, with that being said, when is it time to end a relationship? What do you think,
That's what
Uche?
I was thinking about that when you were saying like, how girls check out early on. Cause like for me, yeah, I don't know, maybe this is just a personal, type of thing, but like I'm want to give people chances, man. Like that's just the kind of person I am. So for me, irrespective of what the situation is, I would always be like, you know what, maybe she meant to actually don't disrespect my mom, Sisha, but maybe she meant to do this. Maybe she meant to do that. Whatever, whatever. And I won't just be one to just up and leave. Like that's just especially if you actually like the person. Nah, that's just not me. But when do you think it's time to end the relationship? Um, when you can't take it anymore, man. Like I said, I would have given you several chances, and especially if it's something as a core value to me, like let's say communication, or like like if our communication is poor, I mean I don't think we should be in a relationship to begin with. And I'll make that known, like, hey, blase blase blase, you know. And if
hmm
if we keep fighting over the same thing, that man, I just have to leave, man. And communication is very key because I feel like that's like the root of every relationship. Like you
So
just need
if
to
I
be able
get
to talk to each
if I
other.
understand you correctly, the first
Mhm.
blow is not usually the end for you. You would give series of chances, so you're not
Yeah.
a fuck up once it's over kind of person, right?
No, I'm definitely not a one and done person. Nah.
So you could see a red flag and you could still be like, okay, let's give it another shot. You're not going to end things.
Man, you know how it is when you like someone, man. You just become a mumu. you, you just
Fair enough.
you just become
Fair enough. Lani, what do
so
you think? When is the right time to end a relationship? Sorry, not when is the right time. When is it time to end a relationship?
I actually agree with a lot of what Uche said. I think when you like somebody, especially for me, it takes a lot for me to like someone. And when you like somebody, I'm more willing to overlook like some of the initial blows. For me, it's definitely like if we outgrow each other. So if we notice that we're not on the same page on a lot of things, we're not on the same page for a lot of things. We're just constantly like fighting about the same thing, like what you said, communication is off. The other one, which I didn't think was possible, but I actually think it is, when love is lost, like you just stop feeling love for, all the things you used to feel for the person, like you stop feeling it like you used to. um the foundational things, so like communication, trust, uh if there were certain things that brought you guys together and you guys just lost that, yeah. Toxic, if it becomes toxic, just like whatever that means, if it's emotional, physical. And I think overall this is one that I actually believe in heavily, because I think in every relationship there's good and there's bad, right? Like no relationship is always smooth sailing, but when
When
the
the bad
bad
outweighs the
like
good.
outweighs the good, like heavy, it's not even a balancing skill. It's like, yeah, there's no need. What's the point? Just end it.
Yeah,
Man,
I
that
think.
love loss thing she said, man.
Mhm.
Man, that one hit home. That one hit home, man. Sorry, Ramley.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I was
No,
just gonna say, yeah, go
mhm.
ahead. Go ahead.
I was
Respond.
gonna say like, and how I knew it was a thing is because there's certain people that I look at like, now versus before versus now, and you just feel like, wait, sure, I used to feel this and this and this for them at this point, but I can't actually like resonate with that feeling anymore. And you hear this with like married couples or like people that have been together for a very, very long time. And it's just like, oh shoot, you're just in autopilot. And sometimes you have to check yourself of like, am I in autopilot because we've been dating for so long? Or am I actually in this because like I actually love you and all the other things? And I know love is not enough, like it's love and other things, but love is one of the fundamental stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think you both have mentioned valid points. For me, I'll take it from the angle of, so my first point would be,
Hmm.
when you can no longer hear yourselves, end it.
Like
I'll interpret,
communication.
yep, when you can't hear yourselves, like communication, like you said, like if I'm saying, Lolade, you have nice hair,
Hmm.
and Lolade is hearing, Lolade, you have nice hair.
Oh my gosh,
Like,
yes.
end it.
Yes.
When someone is telling me, Lamide, you need to pick up your slack, and I'm hearing, Lamide, you're a broke nigga. Can't you see
You're an
how the
asshole.
bills
Yeah.
are? You're an asshole. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
End it. Don't put yourselves through. So that's my
Yeah.
first one.
Mhm.
My second one is, end it when you don't have peace or you can't see yourself anymore. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Hey,
life is too short to be, like, when you're not at peace with, like, your home, your partner should be like an enabling and really warm and really mature and really, unique and safe space for yourself and your partner. So if you don't feel at peace there, express that, you know what I'm saying, like, and just end it. Like, you laddie, you probably should go first, but is there a good or bad way to go about a breakup?
Uh, I think there's definitely like bad ways or not so great ways to go about it. Because it's a breakup already,
Hmm.
it's let's be honest, like a sort of negative, sad experience. So it's really hard to have a good breakup. Like, yes, some people have that, but when I say good breakup, I mean like everybody's smiling, you guys are high fiving, all of that, all of that. But I'll say the way to go about it in a good way, and it also varies too on length, because there are definitely times where you and somebody you already knew from the get go, yeah, this isn't going nowhere, so it's really easy to end it. But if you guys were actually in it, there was a lot of like emotion invested, time, love, all of that, and it ended not how you expect it to end, then it's hard to have a good breakup. But to have a good breakup, in my opinion, just be as honest as possible. Um,
So break up with me in a good way. Let's see how
uh,
that plays out. Break up with me in a good way.
uh.
Give me your best. Give me your best. Give me your best
My best
breakup
breakup line. Okay, okay.
lines. So you're
Let me
about to break up with
see.
me. Break up with me in a very good way. Yeah.
Okay. Um, I'll say something like, Lamide, like, I really enjoy the time that we've had together.
Mm,
They're memories that I would never be able to replace in my head, and you always have a spot in my heart, especially if I loved you.
mhm,
Um, However, I just feel like we've reached a crossroads of like our relationship dynamic. Either, we're drifting apart, or it's just not going to work, or we're just not aligning in what we want for our future, all of that. And then I'll say something like, I still think
It's
you're
not you, it's
amazing.
me.
Exactly. There's someone out there for you. It's just not me. And I hope you find that person. Me,
Oh
I'm
man.
always the biggest advocate of let's be friends.
I think that's important though,
Yo,
to be
it's not
honest.
very common. It's not very common. The amount of people that like once they break up, that person is dead and gone.
mm.
It's so common. But I'll
That
say
is
something like,
crazy to me, man.
yeah, no, it's actually wild. It's I think that's one thing that you and I really connect on, in the sense of like when you break up, you don't have to just be like enemies or not friends. But that's how I would break up with you, Lamide. Was that good or bad? You tell
Ah,
me.
I just want to say you tried, and I just want to say I what I was able to pick up from that is definitely say it with soft tone. Say it with a soft
Yeah.
tone. Use a lot of
Hmm.
Mhm,
use a lot of fancy words, and
Yeah.
mhm.
remember to give them a lot of compliments.
Yes. Yes. Oh, one thing I want to add is I feel like, and this is hard to do, I'm not going to lie, and maybe I may have fallen short of this in the past, but give actual reasons, because it's so easy for people to like, especially for relationships that meant a lot, for people to just end it without like actual reasoning. And so whichever party was blindsided doesn't have anything to hold on to. And
Mm.
that hurts a lot. So if you can like give an actual reason, the reason doesn't have to be in depth. It could really just be you guys are just not on the same page anymore, or it's not working, that type of thing. But
I just want to say that as far as bad breakups go, when people say like again, I would like to play devil's advocate, don't break up via text or whatever. I wouldn't do it. But what about those people who can't face the reality? Face the reality in the sense of I can't look in your eye and tell the person I've been with or whatever that it's over. What happens to those kind of people?
For me,
What do
I
you
just
think? Like,
think for
yeah.
me, I just think it's a respect thing, man. One of my high school relationships, it was over the phone too. And let me actually paint the picture for you. So I got a text. It's funny. I remember the exact day. I remember how long we dated for. I'm just good with numbers. I'm not keeping this in my memory. But I remember the exact day, and she messaged me. She was like, "Hey, you know, um something along the lines of, I need you to promise me something." I was like, "Oh, what's up?" This is my babe that's talking to me at the time. "I need you to promise me something." I was like, "Oh, what's up?" She was like, "If anything happens, no matter what, we're going to be friends, right?" And I'm like, "Okay, yeah, sure." She was like, "No, no, 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 I really, really need you to promise this." I'm like, "Okay, like, what, like, can you
she's
imagine how
bringing you.
confused I am in this moment?"
She's bringing you in for the kill.
Oh, can you imagine how confused I am in this moment? I'm like, yo, what's the issue? Like, she's like, yeah, man, I don't want to be in a relationship anymore, man. Like, it's no use me, whatever, whatever, this one down. And I'm like, wow. And this was over the phone. It wasn't over text. It was over no, no, no. It was over text. And I'm like, huh? Yo, and it was crazy to me because I was just at her place 2 days before or 3 days before. And if we're going to say that breakups are premeditated, yeah, that means in that moment we were sharing together, she already knew she was done with me. Like that, like the texting crushed me. I can't front, man. It really, really did crush me. And this is why I feel like even if it's just a respect thing, like just I think you owe it to that person, especially if they meant something to you. Just man up and or woman up
Uche's high
and
school girlfriend 5, Uche 0. Like straight up.
oh but yeah, sorry, man. I went deep in that. I forget what you actually asked me, man.
No,
I
it's
forget what you
okay.
actually asked.
Basically I was saying like as far as bad breakups go or bad breaking
Hmm.
up scenario, like over the text kind of thing, like what if it's a situation where the person can't just realistically face, like they can't deal with like the face to face conversation, like
But
it's
why
to
though?
them,
Like,
you know what I'm saying, like there are people like that, they can't handle that conversation, maybe because their hearts will not be able to like carry the whole thing, or
Mhm.
they wouldn't be able to bring themselves to following through if they have the conversation face to face, you know what I'm saying, like, so I'm just thinking like everyone says breaking up bad text is a bad thing, is a bad thing. What if genuinely those
mhm.
people can't have that kind of conversation face to face? You know what I'm saying?
But
So like,
my only argument to that will be the outcome is the exact same, whether it's over text, whether it's face to face, whatever the case is. So just coming from a respect perspective, right? This is someone
Mhm.
you have spent significant amount of time with. This is someone you had dates together, intimacy, food, whatever the case is, you guys shared quality time together. And
mm,
the way you're going to put a full stop to that story, I think out of respect for the other person, should just be face to face. You get me? It's not a case of, because regardless, whether you say you can't bring yourself to talk to the person or whatever the case is, the outcome is the same. You guys are not together anymore. That's going to be the outcome. So
Mhm.
if you're going to put an end to that story, the least you could do is do it in style. Like be grand about it. Don't give me, you know, all this lovey dovey, whatever, whatever, from the beginning, then our full stop
so
will now be over text.
is a good
Like
breakup, is a good breakup me taking you to like the Super Bowl or something, we having dinner afterwards at like,
You're annoying.
Hakkasan, and I'm like, maybe I have like a box on the table after dinner, and I'll be like, yeah, I'll box it up with a ribbon, and then you open it up, and you open the scroll inside, and you see, oh, we're over. Like, do you understand what I'm saying? At the end of the day, a breakup, whether good way or bad way, is a breakup. You know what I'm saying? Like, so,
yeah,
but definitely, I'm messing around. Really, I wouldn't do it over text. I wouldn't do it over text. I wouldn't do it in all those like corny ways, because I totally
yeah,
agree. Like, at the end of the day, I think it's a respect thing. If you respect the person
exactly.
enough, that just some things, in my opinion, no, you wouldn't
Yeah.
do. But yeah, yeah. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for how you delivered
I
that.
was like, let me do some messing with you. Take the
Um,
No,
person to the Super Bowl. Yo,
no.
but
In,
I
in Lamide's example, Sha, if you take me to the Super Bowl, I'm not. If you break up with me, I'm going home with you still, because you've just given me the experience of my life.
yo,
We're not together,
yo,
but I'm still going home with you, Sha.
you know
oh
that
my
she has
god.
that shit happens too when somebody's breaking up with somebody, but the other party is refusing to accept the breakup.
Oh
What
my
what
god.
do you actually do
Funniest
in that instance?
Hmm.
man.
Omo.
I think that's a very good question, and I've seen scenarios like that. Like
It's so
I've heard
common.
I've heard stories, to be honest with you, where my homie is telling me, yo, like I broke up with her, but she's saying like, no, like I'm not giving up on us, stuff like that. I mean, it's cute up until it isn't, right? So if she's coming from the angle, like, oh, if he or she is coming from the angle of, oh, I don't want to give up on us yet, that kind of thing, and she tells you like, you know, you can be firm with some things. If he or she goes the firm out and be like, I've made up my mind, blah blah blah, like back off. But if you start doing things like, no, 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 please, it's getting scary. I mean, maybe block the person straight up. I'm not a fan of blocking, but block the person, switch your numbers, like tell your gate man to not let her in, like change the house codes. You know what I'm saying? Because yeah, it definitely could become creepy if like yeah, I don't know. Yeah, yeah, I don't know.
Wait, sorry. I have a question. I have a question. So we're saying breakups in general, right? Do
Uh huh.
you treat how do you treat a breakup in a relationship versus a breakup in a friendship? Because there's just all those people. You're
Hmm.
like, you know what?
Good
I
question.
mean, we've been guys from time, but like, I can't just take you to the next phase of my life. It's just this can't happen. Does it
And
differ?
you know what? You know what's interesting? It differs, but
It
do you know
does.
what's interesting? I'm of the opinion like if it's a real true friendship, it's actually harder than a relationship kind of thing. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? Like it's harder for me personally. Let me speak for myself. It's harder for me personally because I mean, especially if it's someone I care about really as on that friendship level kind of thing. I wouldn't know how to say because a friendship usually has unlimited. If you didn't kill my mother, and if you did not do something drastic, I'm leaving out those really extra. Oh,
Hmm.
let me not even leave it out. Let me leave them out. Like all those really extra over the top kind of scenarios. If I'm
mhm.
breaking up with a friend, like I don't want to do it again. I feel like you're draining me out, or I'm giving more than you are giving. That kind of thing. It's hard. I would do
Yeah,
it. I'll follow through by saying what I have to, but it would pain me. Or it would pain me like big time. It will pay me big time. That one, I think personally, I would premeditate for a long time. I would
man.
premeditate for a
Mm.
very long time. Like, yeah, compared to like a chick who, like, if it's over for me, it's over, not you. Like, but if it's a friend, ah, I would think about it for a real long time. Except, yeah, 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 I'll think about it for a real long time. But I'll follow through. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, I have to put myself first, right? But to me personally, it's harder than a relationship kind of thing.
I can
I
see why.
disagree with you,
Okay,
actually.
okay, go ahead.
But that's also because of my own personal experience. Because I've gone through like a really hard, I actually went through them one first,
Back to
friendship
back.
breakup, and then like an actual breakup, like relationship breakup next. And the friendship breakup, it hurt. Like it hurts like balls, like it was painful.
Hmm.
Um, however, because like our lives weren't as intertwined as like a boyfriend, it was easier for me to like step away and forget. It
Hmm.
hurts. I think the pain is probably, I don't want to say similar, but you still feel the same pain of like, oh shoot, I've lost this person that meant so much to me. But in
Hmm.
terms of like the lingering thoughts and just that like grief, is it grief they call it? Yeah, is less, in my opinion, for a friendship breakup than an actual relationship that has lasted like, and I'm not talking about situationship for 6 months. Nobody cares. Pack your bags and go.
Mhm,
I'm
mhm,
talking
mhm,
like
mhm.
an actual like relationship that meant a lot to you. I think that hurts a lot more. But I do agree with you, Lamde, when you say, to me, especially my like ride or die friendships, and this is what I thought that girl was at the time, you don't see an end date with it. So when you start to like pick up on certain clues, you start to premeditate it where you're like, okay, yeah. But for me, that premeditation is not like premeditating the end of the friendship. It's just moving differently where we're drifting
Exactly,
apart.
exactly. Your
When we
head is
eventually
there.
break up,
Yeah,
it's not like, oh yes, this is, drastic. It's more
yeah.
so like, oh yeah, she's gone now. It's what
You're
it is. I wish the
weighing the
best for the girl.
scenario exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
exactly,
yeah.
exactly.
Versus I think
Yeah,
with a
that,
relationship it's more abrupt, like one day you guys are doing your shit. Yes, you have been premeditating or you've been thinking we might not last, but you're still like in the day to day things of dating. And then the next day, it's like, oh, no calls, no phone calls, all of that. Yeah. But Uche, I'm curious on your perspective.
Nah, man. I think in both cases they are hard, man. Like, and just like Lorde, I've experienced both back to back
Mm.
as well. Crazy, isn't it? But with friends, it's crazy because I think about especially my closest friends, man. I think about friends like family. Like
Mhm.
family, you're born into family, but the friends that you call family, you handpick these guys and you say, okay,
Right.
these people I'm going to stand in their corner. So I feel like they can be just as bad. But man, once it comes to that relationship, Pete, man, oh my god, when I break up from a relationship, man, that thing flips me upside down. I can't front. Like my
Yeah.
Mm,
my last my last breakup was tough, man. It was really really tough. Cause like
mm,
no. Like jokes aside, like it really was tough because I used to live in Yankee. I just left actually, and I didn't have any immediate family member around me. So when this person was in my life, I just made that person my whole. You get, you're my family member, you're my girlfriend, you're everything. So when
mm,
it ended, man, it was just man, it was tough. I can't front, man. It really was tough. Um,
mm,
so
mm.
yeah, I could see both situations, but I think a relationship is definitely worse to be honest.
I
But
think so
I
too.
could see why some people like their friends, like I said, it's like you handpicked a family member. I could see why that's just as bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It also depends on the type of like lover you are. Because there's some people that are in and out of relationships. And that's not a bad thing, do you? But like you're less likely to feel it if you're in a relationship every year, right? Than like
Yeah.
if you're more so hardcore, you write it out, all of that, all of that, all of that. But I'm actually curious, like going off of this, you've broken up. Somebody has broken up with you, or you broke up with somebody. How do you now move on, please? Talking about
How
relationship, like
soon do you move on?
romantic. Both questions actually. Is there a right amount of time necessary before like one party can move on to, doing their shit? And then how do you move on? I want to start from Lavide because
Wait,
I
clarify
was
though. What do you mean by how?
you
like,
know what are you
how do
doing
you
to move
move
on?
on?
How do
Like,
you move on?
is it alcohol? Is it
Oh, okay. Your coping
um
mechanisms.
yeah,
Your
like
your
is
bed
it
is it
Oh,
talking
every
okay,
about
okay.
night?
it?
Is it
Is
talking
it
every night? What are you
club every
doing?
night? Is it sleeping with different people every night? Is it like how do you move on? I mean, personally,
Mm-hmm.
I do I do a whole lot of introspecting. So
Okay.
I'm I'm a very cerebral guy in terms of like I have conversations with myself a whole lot. Cause I was listening to Skepta in an interview the other day, and his sister Julie was asking him, "Who's your best friend?" And he said, "Me." And
That's some shit
she was
Lamide
like,
you can say.
"Exactly." And she was like, "Seriously, like, who's your best friend?" He was like, "Me." And he goes on to say, "Because no one's gonna love me like me. No one is going to be
Hmm.
truthful to me like me." Like, do you understand what I'm saying? So I agree a whole lot with that. And in terms of like, you know, I talk to myself like, what did you
Mm-hmm.
do wrong? What were your shortcomings? You
Mm,
know, how could you have been better? And
mm-hmm.
if the other person was at fault too, like I would ask myself questions like, why did you choose to stay in something like that for this long? Why did you choose, like, what's wrong with your choices? I do a
Mm-hmm.
whole lot of evaluation, and Ladi knows this very well. Like, I do a lot of introspective thinking, and my conclusion, when I draw my conclusions after my thinking or my thoughts have pondered for a while, it could be a week, depending on the breakup and how bad it was. Like, it could be a week, it could be a month. But once I'm done and I have my conclusion, I'm good. Time then
Hmm.
begins to heal the remaining part. Like, but if I don't have a resolve, like if I don't have a conclusion, that's where the issue can be. If I have like missing parts, then I might have to ask a few questions. You know what I'm saying? But there was one where I didn't have closure, and I had to make that up for myself
Oh my
to be able to
gosh.
move on. You know
Oh,
what I'm saying?
That's
Like,
tough,
yeah.
man. That's tough,
it
That's
man.
made
so
That's tough.
tough.
yeah, I didn't have closure. I had to make it up for myself to fill in those holes.
Can I
So I
cut you really
helped.
quick? Sorry.
Yes, please.
I used
Yeah.
to think closure was overrated, but now I think different. And I know there's still some people that don't believe in closure, but closure is so needed, especially when like it meant a lot to you. But
Yeah,
continue.
Yeah.
I agree. So I had to like give I created different scenarios for, again, it might not be accurate, but I created different scenarios for what I might have done wrong and accepted the results of those scenarios and then made peace with it. Not to be, do you understand what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
I might even still be wrong at the end of the day. But for me to be able to move on, I needed to create something and
Your
fill in those
narrative.
gaps and fill in those
Yeah.
holes. So yeah, I mean, I'm an introspective thinker to answer the question in general,
Okay.
and time does the healing. So
Okay.
once I talk to myself a whole lot, yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
So
I'm
how
good.
long before is you like move on?
How long?
Yeah. Is
Um,
there a right amount of time necessary before one person moves on?
a moving on would not, just because before someone can be like my girlfriend or partner or whatever, it takes a while to get there. I'm not a kind of, I meet someone today and the person can be my partner tomorrow. So realistically speaking, maybe before I start looking actively. But again, I'm not the kind of, I don't leave my house saying I'm looking. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
most of the times it will be a long time, just
Wait, but there are
because.
things in between though. So you're speaking specifically for like looking for the next relationship, not necessarily the things in between.
Okay, for the things in between, I mean, maybe maybe nothing
Like, do you
less than,
it?
yeah, maybe nothing less than 3 months,
Hmm.
maybe three
Okay.
months
Wait,
sounds 3 months
what did you
sounds.
say?
No, like you said things in between. I'm like, oh, are you going to date someone else? You don't necessarily have to make them
Mm,
your girlfriend, but like,
right.
to, I don't
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
Talking
I
to
think
other
I
people.
think
Yeah.
3 months.
talking
I
to
think
other
3 months.
people.
Three
Yeah.
months.
I like
Okay.
that answer actually. I
You're
think
generous
Nnamdi
Yeah.
and I are
though.
very similar. I think no, in the sense that no, I think we're very similar in the sense that like how do you move on, You're like
Hmm.
in most cases you're just like for me, yeah, whether it was high school, whether it was my recent breakup, whatever the case was, I constantly replayed the conversation in my head, like constantly read the text messages. And me, as we were breaking up, it was the weirdest thing. As we were breaking up, I was writing in my notes. This is my notes app, man. It's weird. But anyway, I was writing in my notes. I was writing in my notes. Okay, she said this. This hurt me. She did this. This one, it stung a
Really?
bit. I promise you, I could send it to you. No, actually, I can't send it to you. But
Man,
but
I just have those conversations overview in my head.
no,
As
no,
you
no.
were
It's
saying.
actually in my notes. There's some weird
Wow.
things in my notes, to be honest. I don't know whether it's the engineer in me, but like I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I just keep pondering it, man, and eventually I just let it go. I mean, to be honest, I
Mm.
don't think you ever completely let it go. You just like, why did that not work out? Every now and then, it will just cross your mind. What messed up again? Like, what happened in that relationship again? But
Wait, and
yeah,
this is a thought that you have for all your relationships?
no, as a new relationship comes, that's the one that you just
Mm,
ponder every now and then. Like, what
okay.
happened
Ah,
again?
Uche,
Whatever the
you know
case is.
what's interesting for me? 3 months after I break up, it's done. Oh. After I've done that, my introspective thinking, and,
Yeah.
I've closed the chapter and I'm good, bro.
Hmm.
I could see you, I could see you, the person at an event, and be like, "Hey, what's good? How you doing?" Like, have the most genuine conversation, and not even flinch in terms of like what could have been or
I
what's
don't know
going
how
on.
you
Like,
do it, Lamide.
man, because that's what my introspective thinking is for. Again,
That's cold,
it's
man.
mine
I
is from a
see it's
very
cool, Abby.
analytical. That's why I do that
Yeah, you're
introspective
very
thinking.
yeah. I'm like you, Uche. I think it's different when like somebody just came into your life for, I don't know, random reasons, and it doesn't really mean much. That one, it's like, okay, yeah, this didn't work out. Why didn't it work out? It didn't work out because of this. Da, da, da. You close the chapter. You don't really want to analyze. But when it like means a lot, and especially when like there's certain things that you question, that's when you definitely do that like analysis and playing things over and over again in your head and really trying to figure out like, okay, what went wrong? Like, but ultimately, I think recognizing, for me, recognizing like what I did wrong, what I didn't like, I think is so important. And that's ultimately what I did in my last breakup, was like, okay, this is what I know I fucked up, and this is what I know did not resonate well for me. And that actually helped me with like knowing what to look out for next.
Mm. And
Rather,
to be
Yeah.
fair, I'm not even a punisher. Like, just to cut you
This
off a
guy
little
said
bit.
Punisher.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm not a punisher. Like, once I've like thought about it and close the chapter, that kind of thing. When
Mhm.
I say close the chapter, I mean that relationship thing is done. Like, I've made peace with it, and I can
Wait,
see you, and like we can have proper conversation. We can be friends. We can
yeah.
like no form of animosity, that kind of thing. Like, we can legit actually keep it pushing.
Yeah. Can I ask you a question? Because I actually was talking to a guy recently. I think Lamde, you know this. Can you get back with your ex?
Only one of
Wait,
them at this point in time. Only one.
Okay, so I question your theory. You're not you, if you this
When I
one of,
say one
yeah.
of the one of them, because okay, so my theory is I've
Mm-hmm.
said I've made peace with it. I've
Yeah,
closed the
closed
chapter.
it.
I'm keeping it
Mm-hmm.
pushing.
Mm-hmm.
Don't forget that I said there's no form of animosity and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But the conclusions I've been able to draw from my thought process, there are
Mm-hmm.
some things I can't go back to because of my growth so far. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
So, like,
So
with
with
me
this
growing,
ex,
I can't. Yeah, okay, yeah, go ahead, ask the
so with this
question.
ex that you can potentially get back with,
Hmm.
what about it would not be going back? Would it be like,
Because the circumstances for us breaking up had nothing to do with us.
I like that.
mm,
I like
okay, I
that.
like that.
Yeah,
Okay, okay, okay.
the circumstances of us breaking up had nothing to do with her wronging me in any way. She was
Mm-hmm.
super sweet,
Okay,
perfect, the perfect girl. He had nothing to do with me. I didn't do anything to her. Like, we both did not personally hurt each other in that sense
okay,
at all.
okay.
Lamide just introduced like another variable to breakups, like circumstantial breakups.
Mm,
Ones where, initially we were saying premeditated breakups, or we also said one and done breakups, but then the circumstantial ones where you didn't do anything to me, I didn't do anything to you, but the situation just forced us apart. So that's, yeah. I just thought that's nice how you said that.
yeah. Okay, so I'm trying to actually get everyone answers. Nowadays, you premeditate, you do your, in what did you call it? Intrinsic? And what's that word?
Introspective.
Introspective. I said intrinsic. Introspective analysis. You think about it, you move on, all of that. Uche, you also do the same, right?
Yeah, I definitely think about it a lot, and
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't think about it just within myself. I
Mm-hmm.
definitely ask my close knit of friends, like, what do you think about this situation? Am I at fault? Because I also want to know if I'm the one at fault. Because sometimes we can just be blinded in our rage or whatever the case is, and just not realize that we're fucking up. So
Yeah.
I definitely speak to people, and I'm like, yo, what do you think? You know,
Mm-hmm.
um, but yeah,
Yeah.
so that's what I do.
Wait, did you answer uh is there a right amount of time?
Oh no, I didn't. Is there a right amount of time? Honestly, nah, man. There isn't a right amount of time because you know, especially man, especially if that relationship really did mean something to you, like you keep going back and forth in your head for a decent amount of time, in my opinion, man. You just keep going back and forth in your head. I mean, you
Mm-hmm.
could do things to get your mind off things. You could start talking to someone or whatever the case is,
going back to like how do you move on? I think for me, this last breakup taught me that the most important thing that I needed to do for myself was like figure out what I did not like in that relationship and what I wanted. And subconsciously, that like ignited self discovery to like the next level. You know, when like you're in autopilot, you're just like coasting, coasting, coasting. Like, oh yeah, I do this, I do this, I do this, I do this, I do this. But you're not necessarily
Yeah.
thinking about like, okay, why am I doing this? Do I do this because I like it? It's like, am I doing this because, whatever, whatever, whatever. So that really helped me, that like figuring out like, okay, what didn't work, what works, what do I like, what don't I like? And then stepping out of my comfort zone also helped a lot. And Uche, what you said, I didn't believe it before, but now I'm like, okay, people had a point. I think at some point when your emotional mental health is like good,
Mm-hmm.
distractions do help.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. um, is there
So
anything like
you
a
you
mutual breakup? Yeah.
no you answered so in regards to length of time, yours is
Yeah.
just case by case as well. Yeah.
It's case by case for sure. I think if it meant a lot, then it would be very weird if like you're just off to dating somebody like a month out or
Yeah.
whatever. But
Oh man, a month after, damn,
it
bro, have some
happens.
respect.
Yo, it happens. Just like going off of like how to move on from a breakup.
Mhm.
Is there anything like a mutual breakup? Or do you think one party has it better than the other?
Which lead the way? Let me hear what you have
Okay,
to say.
so to me, she asked two questions. She said, "Is there anything like a mutual breakup?" Then she now asked, "Do you think a party has it better than the other?" I think
Mm-hmm.
you can have a mutual breakup. Like when your breakup is going to shit, both of you can see it. Like both of you evidently know something is wrong here. I'm pretty sure. So if both of you decide, okay, this isn't working out, and you know, I think I need some time, I need some space, whatever the case is, I think that's considered a mutual breakup. However, do you think someone benefits more? 100%. It will never be a 50-50 breakup. Never. It's not possible. It can be mutual, yes, but someone will always benefit over the other person, in my opinion. 100% of the time.
I agree to disagree.
Wait, you
I
don't think there can be a mutual breakup?
I think they can be a mutual breakup, but I don't necessarily think one
Mm-hmm.
party has to benefit the like more than the other. I think both people can be equally hurt. More times than normal, there is one party that's benefiting, but I do think sometimes like both parties can actually have the equal side of the stakes when it comes to dealing with the breakup.
Maybe benefit is not the right thing to say. What I mean is like someone will be less affected by the breakup
Yeah, I still
versus
agree to disagree. Yeah.
you think they'll be affected equally
I think it's
in most
possible.
cases. I think it's
In
possible
most
to.
cases,
No,
no.
actually, no. I don't think it's possible. No.
In
Mm.
most cases, no, I do agree with you. In most cases, somebody has it better than the other. But I do think in some cases, like both parties are actually going through like equal roller coaster turmoil, all of that.
Um, it depends. It depends. There can be someone who, again, it depends on your threshold for pain or heartbreak. Like there are some things they will do to me and be like, yeah, we've been there, we've felt that one before. Like it's nothing, that kind of thing. Like breaking up over text for some people, like they felt that kind of pain before. So if another person is doing it again, it might not really shake them, that kind of thing.
Mm,
But for s- maybe someone who is like hopeless romantic, you've never had that kind of experience before, and someone breaks up with you over text, that one can shake like your world, that kind of thing.
yeah.
You're looking for air to breathe.
That's so true because I think this breakup experience I just went through like a few years ago, it's prepped me for any breakup I'm gonna have in the future.
Hmm.
So I agree with you actually on threshold. Sometimes you can actually build your tolerance level.
Tolerance. Huh. I'm gonna teach me, because every breakup is just like, what's going on here, man?
That's because you're a lover boy, man.
Omo. The funny thing is, it doesn't show on my face, man. Like, yeah, I
It
mean,
does.
I've been in a relationship for a significant amount of time, like in my life, but like, if you saw me on the street, you would not know I'm the relationship type of person. Like, it's just not in my demeanor. But man,
Mhm.
when I break up, golly, golly, that shit kicks me upside down, man. So yeah.
Mm.
A
I
question
hear.
just popped to mind, and I'm actually very curious because I had to think about it as a question came to mind. For you
Okay.
guys, I want you guys to name, and I'll go first so you guys can think. What is one thing that's like once this happens in your relationship, that's it, break up? And do you think there's potential coming back from this thing when it happens? Does it make sense?
No, I think the question is, what's one thing that when it happens is over breakup, Abby?
Yeah.
Then you now want another one thing also where it happens that there's potential that.
No, 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 no. So the spin-off is you're right. What's one thing that once it happens, it's breakup. And then for that thing,
Mm-hmm.
in general, do
Mm-hmm.
you think people can come back from it? So
Oh,
excluding yourself
now I
from the
get the question.
situation.
You
Yeah.
still want to go first? Yeah, go first.
Well,
I'll go
if you
after
guys,
you.
yeah, I have mine already. Mine, honestly, is cheating. I
Mm.
personally don't, and I know it's such a thing now in our like society where a bunch of women feel like, oh, every man cheats,
It's
Jesus.
allowed. It's allowed. It's allowed.
Every man,
One
I just
one shot
generalize.
for the one shot for the one shot for the crew is
I
allowed.
say, guys, please though, we went
Go
to school in
ahead.
Ogun State.
Go ahead.
um, but I personally feel like if you cheat, and I'm talking like, yeah, if you cheat on me, I
Mm.
don't know if I could come back from that. And I don't necessarily see how people are able to just like let go.
Hmm.
In my opinion, it's hard to see how people come back from that. But I know people do it. But for me personally, like if my man goes out, fuck somebody else, like gets all like
Mhm.
all of that, I'm sorry, but you're gonna do it to me time and time again.
For me, it's so you guys would help me interpret it as best as you can. For
Hmm.
me, it's when you're being like, when you hurt me with your words, like purposefully. So again, I'm a very cerebral kind of guy. So if my lady says like deep, hurtful things to me, like with her words, like you're trying to hurt me by the way you speak and everything, it's over. Like
Hmm.
verbally abuse me, like finish me off, that kind of thing. Like you're going in with your words.
Can you come
I'm a
back from it?
very no, like I can't. Like I can't. If you
Even if she's
call me,
like, I'm sorry, I'm gonna
it's not
change.
possible. It's not possible
Mm, okay.
because it's such a for me. I felt you were like when you're stabbing someone and you're twisting the knife. I just feel it's something. There's some things I can't
Mm,
say to my partner. It's just
Mm.
not possible because
I
I
mhm,
hear
love
that.
you. There are
Hmm.
mhm,
just some things that will not come out of my mouth. But I watch movies and sometimes I hear, like, I see videos too on Twitter of like real life scenarios
mhm,
where a girl is calling a guy out on his name. Like, hey, I'm like, Lord have mercy. Why are you talking to me like this? Do you understand that kind of thing? Like,
yeah.
it just hurts me. Oh, that's how you can call me a softie. I don't care. But like,
No, everyone has their
words hurt
own.
for me. So yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
but for other people, I think the general sometimes nobody cares, right? It's like I'm sorry, kiss and make up
Mhm.
everything. But for me, oh, bro,
If
no
you show
way.
me your if you show me you've changed, like I could come back from that, but I know it's different for everyone. Because same way people can come back from cheating. Yeah. Yeah.
The,
But I
the
actually
thing will
like
be
that.
playing. The thing will be playing in my
In your
head.
head. Yeah.
It will
I
be
know
like,
you.
let's say she call. Do you understand what I'm saying? It will just play
I
in my
know
head.
you. It's
We could
alarm
be
clock
having.
every morning.
Do you understand? I could just be at work and I'll just hear it.
You just hear it.
Madman. Yay. It will pay me. I'll just hear it. I'll just hear this. Nah, 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 nah. And
Yeah.
I'll hear it in a tone. I'll hear, oh, nah, nah, nah. No way.
Yeah.
No way. It's over. It's
No, I
over.
hear that. Mine is definitely like a fusion of both of yours. Cheating is standard for everyone.
No,
And
Ah.
no.
obviously
Sorry
no
to cut
one.
you off. Sorry to cut you off. Not for me. I've learned to do away with that mentality of if a lady cheats on me, that should be the final straw for me.
Wait,
I think,
really?
yeah,
Oh.
it's and again, future babe, future
Don't go
girlfriend.
and cheat
This
on
is this
Igbo.
is this is not a parcel. Do you understand that kind of thing? But cheat. I learned again. I learned that attitude to the situation
Mm-hmm.
because I felt like again, it's because I felt a lot of remorse and pain of like, not remorse. I felt a lot of pain of women who have constantly been able to endure that kind of scenario. And I replayed or reversed the roles. And I'm like, why should they have it like one and done? Like basically for me personally, I don't see it as such a irredeemable act.
Mm.
And
Okay.
maybe it's because it's for a woman, because I know women are not that mad like the men. And I like
Mhm,
women. Do you know what I'm saying?
mhm.
Or maybe I'm confident in my own choices. The woman that I
Yeah.
would pick
Mhm,
wouldn't be that mad. You know what I'm saying? So I know if she cheats, if she confides in me, that she
Mm.
cheated, I can come back from it. I think I can come back from it.
Hmm.
I think so.
Oh
Interesting.
yeah.
But go ahead,
Actually,
Richie. Go
before
ahead.
before before I give my answer, I was going to say if someone does cheat, yeah, and they own up to it, like you didn't find out as soon as it happens, a lapse in judgment, they come to you. I guess this goes for Lorde because you said no. Actually, this goes for Lorde because she said she can't condone cheating. If someone cheats, they own up to it instantly. Look, man, babe, like, I'm sorry, this happened, blase, 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 lapse in judgment, Nigerians, the devil used me, whatever, whatever. What would you, does that skew the process for you, or is it still a no tolerance thing?
I definitely appreciate the honesty because it takes a lot, especially if you could have easily gotten away with it. But
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, it depends on what it is. If you kiss someone, that will hurt my soul, and I don't even know if I can ever fully forgive you. Or like if it's something just like surface level, it will hurt me. But depending on how much I like you, like I might be able to sweep it under the rug, surface level
yeah,
stuff. But if it's like you carry your body, you put yourself in a compromising situation that you
yeah.
flat out like cheated on me and you did it well. No, you can tell
She
You
said
me
she
did it
cheated
well.
well.
I'm dead.
you can even show
Dead.
me the video and like open your yash. No, like
Oh my God,
no.
that is
Because
angry.
the way I think about it is like you made a choice to
Mm,
Yeah.
purposefully hurt me and
mm,
for like what? I don't know, depending on your game, 20 minutes, right? For those 20 minutes,
2 seconds.
right? For those 20 minutes, like I was just as tiny as I don't know, a
mm,
penny in your
mm,
mind,
mm,
in your hearts, then
mm.
I don't deserve you. Like you don't deserve me. I don't deserve you. Go like chase
I
that.
hear that.
Yeah. So that's the way I see it. It's like obviously, if it's like, oh, you were drunk, you kissed somebody, it will hurt me because again, I still feel like you shouldn't have put your. But I think I can get, and it also depends on the situation. If you were flat out like awake and you go kiss somebody, I'm like, so depending on the situation, however, I can tell you now, no matter if you were drunk, you were not, if you flat out like go out and cheat on me, like next level shit, I can't come back from that. And even if I would tell myself like, oh, I can forgive you, I don't know
You
if I
always
would
hold it
ever
over them.
exactly. Like I might not talk about it, but it will hurt me. And I would always like deep down feel like wasn't I enough? Like
I hear that
W-
though. I
Yeah,
I
because
hear
you know
that.
like, I
sometimes
like.
we can be our biggest critic, and especially for women, like we sometimes find a way to flip it on ourselves. As much as to your point, like the girl might not even be like the person that you have might even be like so much more of a treasure than the other girl, but you know they just do that shit.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. But yeah,
So
no, I hear
Uche,
that.
your
Oh
own
yeah, my own
answer.
answer. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
so mine is like a fusion of both of yours, man. So obviously cheating is zero tolerance, but yeah, it's but there's one that hits me even more than that. So
Which one?
earlier you guys said, describe yourself in 3 words. So mine is
Mm-hmm.
always loyalty, hustle, and respect. Respect is really, really big for me. So something I really can't condone is public forms of disrespect and um disrespecting my family. Like disrespecting my family can literally be the difference between me and you like talking today and me and you not talking tomorrow, man. Like for real. Like
Hmm.
I hold
Hmm.
my family at such a high pedestal, whether it's my youngest brother, whether it's my dad, you know, like don't talk smack to my people, man. Like I don't like disrespect in any form, but if you disrespect my people, man, it hits me like it hits me differently. If you disrespect me publicly too, yeah, man. I don't know that I can
Okay.
come back from that, man.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I
Okay.
feel that.
Okay.
I like that too, because
Yeah.
yeah,
Family is a no no.
it's a
No
no
no.
no. It's a no no. I already feel like, in my opinion, that talking stage. Lamde, we've had this conversation where it's like you pick up on how certain people treat their own family and how they treat your
Yup.
family, and
Yup.
that's how you even know if you're gonna like advance it to the next level. And yeah, that's
Yeah.
definitely huge. Something I was gonna say that Uche had mentioned, and this I'm not gonna lie, it scares me so much about getting back into a relationship is, to Uche's point, people evolve, and sometimes it's not even like a personal choice. You evolve
Hmm.
because of your situation, because of like
Mm,
life and
mhm.
stuff, and
Hmm.
sometimes that evolution is not what you initially signed up for. And so it's like, okay, especially in marriages where it's like you've said, okay, together forever, da 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 da, and it's like, okay, you now have to keep up with it because it's what it is, you know. But that was just a minor segue of just like something that could happen. And sometimes it's evolution that you guys both evolve. Sometimes it's like really far off where one person becomes like negative, like a drinker or pessimist. Like sometimes it could go to the dark side, and sometimes it might be like evolution for the better. But it's definitely, I think, that you never really know when you start dating because things change over time.
Hmm.
Just to
Hmm.
piggyback off that real quick, just because you said marriage, I really think the old standards of marriage are flawed, and I think we should have marriage licenses that you renew on a every 5 year basis. To be honest, because you can't. How can you say you're going to spend the rest of your life with somebody, knowing fully well that they
Hmm.
are still evolving? You
Okay,
should be
this
able
is
to renew your vows every 5 years or
yep,
something like that. Don't you
yep.
guys? Don't you guys understand? Think
No,
that's
I'm laughing because I literally was telling somebody this like 3 4 months ago, and he was like, "You're crazy." Love, did I ever tell you this before? It was like an
E-
Instagram something that they said, "Why don't we renew our marriage licenses every, so and so?" And I was like, "I'm so up for this." And if you don't
it
renew it,
only
it
makes sense.
expires.
uh-huh.
It only
If you
makes
don't renew
sense.
it, it expires.
It does. I mean, I think you didn't mention it, and I just think it's a very realistic way to like look at it. But all this evolving talk that we are talking about,
Mhm.
the truth is, again, back to my point, back to my point.
Okay.
They are foundational habits.
Okay.
You are either see.
And
I
nobody
don't think
thinks love is
Yo,
a formula that you
please
can
to
just
be
no no
cook up
no
in a
common.
no
lab
no
and it will
That
no
equal zero or some shit.
no no, I'm saying again, maybe I'm using too much math into it and everything, but I'm saying the degree of variation
ah,
in character cannot be as much as you get. Like, it cannot be a situation of 0 to 100. You get what I'm saying?
I
Like,
get what you mean.
if someone is going to change, if someone is going to change, really, it won't be a situation of I know my wife. It could be a lapse in judgment or lapses in judgment, but it wouldn't be a I'm going to cheat constantly when you know someone's routine. Exactly. It's almost like a routine. Like the person has a routine, and the person's routine usually is not cheating, spending all their time with you and having a good time. The previous relationships, there's never been a history of cheating. Do you understand what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
then all of a
Yeah.
sudden, you're telling me that that person becomes a serial cheater
The thing
for
Nah.
is,
Nah.
it doesn't work like that for
I
me.
get.
Or it's almost like someone that does not. Okay, this example I'm about to give will not cancel my own, so I won't give it.
No, Alamde, I really get what you're saying. I really, really get what you're saying, but I really think it really depends on what causes
yeah,
that change.
exactly.
If it's a
Yeah,
thing of like, let's say you guys were lovey-dovey, whatever the case is, and death happens, and death causes someone to spiral and go zero to whatever the case is, I think that's a change that you could not have
yep,
like preconceived. And
yep,
whatever that change is, you just somewhat have to accept it because there's no way they could have processed how they would have dealt with that situation beforehand. So
yeah,
whatever the change is will be very unique.
yeah.
So
Okay, so I
I
have a
agree.
question.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question. Is it possible to stay friends after a breakup?
And the choir says, okay, let's scream it. Are you ready?
One, two, three, shoot me.
I think it's very possible. Every person I've spoken to or like dated, talked to, at the end
Uh-huh.
of it is like, please let's be friends. For
But
me.
I fully support that.
there is what you wish for, and
Mm-hmm.
there is reality. But
Okay.
the short answer is yes.
Yeah.
But I think majority of situations or relationships ends up being a no,
Yeah. And let's
right?
actually dive into that a little bit because I do agree with you. I think it's very complex. I'm not going to lie. Especially if there was a lot there. And I don't think the friendship can be like the typical friendship people like your normal friends, right? I think it's one of those things where you have to work towards something new. Either it's like there's different types. I've seen people where their friendship is very, very, very surface level. Like, hey, how far? Good. Like transactional. Not in a bad way, but like Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Birthday, da 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 da. Right? But they're cool. And I've seen some where it's like somehow their relationship just like morphed into like a best friend. And that's where it becomes a little tricky because you're like, what are we doing? And then I've seen some where it's like they're actually just platonic. Like they're able
Hmm.
to keep it platonic. What I would say is the different variations and how it varies, in my opinion, is based on the type of relationship you guys had before you break up. So if
Hmm.
your relationship was one that was very friendly, you guys didn't really have a lot of like sexual chemistry, emotional like uh emotional attachment on a romantic level, then it's
Hmm.
easier to like morph into a platonic friendship because it's like at that point you guys weren't really like you shouldn't have been dating in the first place. Yeah.
Hmm.
If it was like surface level, we're just situationship, having fun, catching cruise, it's also easier to be friends because it's like, that didn't mean shit. If it was like, oh, intense, and then you guys are trying to be friends, but it's like, okay, what's this friendship? How do we really converse without dropping weird shits here and there? That's the one that's
Hmm.
confusing. And I see why people just say, let's not deal with it. Because honestly, it's easy to just be like, peace out. You're not in my life. I'm not in your life. For me, the reason why I don't like to do that is because already from the get go, me bringing them into into my life means that they meant a lot to me. So
Hmm.
I would rather try to like readjust our dynamic to still have you in my life because I treasure you so much than like just peace out deuces. And I know it's people have told me this, Ladi, you're trying to eat your cake and have it. I know it's I like honestly, I don't advise it for everybody because it's not for everybody, because sometimes it hurts. But on a personal level, I think it's very possible if like you're able to figure out those hurdles and the dynamics, and depending on where you're landing in the type of relationship you had.
Well
Facts.
said. Well said.
Facts.
What do you think, Uche?
I definitely agree with Lottie. I am friends with all my exes. I just feel like at some point, this person meant the world to you. At some point, you had
Mhm.
an infinite amount of love for this person. At some point, you would have done whatever to make this person happy. So it's just hard for me to go from that 100 state to zero. Like, oh, I don't want you in my life. It just doesn't make sense for me. Logically, it doesn't make sense.
Mhm.
Because no matter what, I'll always, if those feelings were true, no matter what, I'll
Mhm.
always want the best for you. One, I'll always want to wish you well, and I'll always want to know you're doing good. Whether that's, you know, like as a super tight best friend type P, or like a hello
Mhm.
type relationship that, just random checkups, But like for me, I feel like for me, I would always want to know my exes are doing well, and I feel like you can be friends with your exes.
Yeah.
Personally,
I
I
think
feel like you can.
hey Uche, you said something now. I think I can be friends with them, but I don't want to necessarily know if they are doing well or not. Like if you like
Uh-uh.
don't do well, if you
so,
like don't
so
do well,
you
I
wish
want
your
to be
friends
friends with
bad?
them. Not like I wish them bad. Probably I'm messing around, but like in terms of like if it's a situation where like I'm not basically what I'm trying to say is I'm not seeking to know whether you're doing well if we're
Mhm.
not in contact. Like we're friends, but I'm not constantly being like, oh, did you get a promotion today? Can you come? I mean, friends do that. I might not find the right way, but I'm not constantly seeking to be like looking for your advancements in that level.
Mhm. Lamde, correct
Yeah,
me
no,
if
I
I'm
hear that.
wrong, but the way
Yeah.
I think you see it is like once we break up, that chapter doesn't have to linger. Is that correct? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's
Thank you.
different.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. Yeah.
You understand what I'm trying to say? Maybe
Yeah.
I didn't say well. She said it well. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, that chapter doesn't have to like
I wish I had your
prolong.
bravery.
No.
Yeah. Okay, the other thing I would
Yikes.
add is the other thing I'll add is I think, because I was saying I think exes can be friends. It also depends on how you guys ended it. If my man's like
Mm,
cheated on
Very
me or
true.
like physically abused me or did some weird shit to family, no, I don't
right.
want you around. Like, be going, dead and gone,
That
that type
one,
of
Very,
that, that
thing.
very
one
true.
today.
Very,
That
very
one
true.
today. Big time. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I
Yep.
think
Yeah.
that's the
Yep. Yep. Yep.
biggest deciding factor, to be honest with you,
Yep,
how it ended.
exactly. Yeah, I think so too. And like how it ended can also help decide like, okay, do I want this person around in my life, or is it dead and gone? Like, do I just not give two fucks about her or him? Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
But this was such an amazing episode. Uche, I cannot thank you enough for coming on. Thanks for writing with us, always being our biggest fan. It's a good time to have you. Like, we have mad love for you over here. So thank you for being on the podcast. And
Honestly,
thank you
thanks for having
everyone.
me, man.
Of course, of course. You can come back for more if you want to. If this didn't scare you, hit us up. Tell us what you want to talk about. We
Nah,
got
man.
you.
You already know I like to talk, man, and I'm a big fan of podcasting. I'm a big fan of you guys' specific podcast, and it's just amazing to see your growth from how it started to what it is now. So, anytime you need me, please just don't hesitate to buzz me, man.
Thank you
It might be
so
different
much.
with Nigerian Wi-Fi, shot, just so you know, but yeah.
We'll see, we'll see. When we get there, we'll cross that bridge. But
All right,
thank you
for
so
sure.
much, guys, for listening up until this point. We really appreciate you sticking along. You can listen to us on all podcasts platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you can find your podcast, find us. You can also reach out to us on our email, life@adultpuzzlepod.com. Send us just random shit that comes to mind about breakups. If you have a breakup story, if you want to share something with us, if there was something that we said that caught your attention, send us an email and we would respond. And we might even talk about it on a future episode. Also, you can rate us on all the different podcast platforms. wherever you find your podcast. Rate us, give us 5 stars, okay? Because that really, really, really,
Please
really,
do.
really, really, really helps us, and we want to know
Please
that people
do.
out there are loving us. And you could also find us on social media, Adult Puzzle, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook this season. We're diversifying. And we're also going to be on Twitter Spaces throughout the season. So find us, join the conversation, come have fun with us on our different platforms. And again, we love you. Thank you so much. And with that, it's the end of the episode. Bye, guys. Bye, Uche. Bye, Lavide.
Bye. Thank you guys so much. Bye.
Thanks for having me.